Anyway, what I was saying, if I go down there, I ain't going. Hey, whoa, Rodney, where are you going with my candy roaster? Son, for the last time, you are not taking my candy roaster into the bathtub to play submarines. Yep, let's have it. Son, Rodney, I'm going to need that for my recipe this weekend. Thank you very much. What am I making? Well, I'm going to make this thing with the candy roaster. We're going to have some apples in it, some onions, some pumpkin pie spice. Going to be hardly fit to eat. And y'all stick around. I'll show you how. Before we go any further, I'd like to remind you guys, please don't forget to mash that subscribe button, give me a big old thumbs up, maybe even leave me a comment or two. I sure would appreciate it. For this year's recipe, you're going to need some dried cranberries, a packet of bacon, some apple pie or pumpkin pie spice, an apple, an onion, some pecans, and a little bit of salt. And let's not forget the star of the show, the candy roaster squash. Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of Eatin Good in the Woods, the channel that shows you just because you're camping doesn't mean you got to eat like a hobo. Now, I done fished out the candy roaster from the bathtub where Rodney was playing with it. I'm just kidding, it didn't make its way to the bathtub, but it does sort of looks like a submarine. It is a candy roaster squash, and it's part of the pumpkin family. Native Americans in my area used to grow them as a staple crop, and we still do grow them around here. Candy roaster is somewhere between pumpkin and butternut as far as sweetness is concerned, and if you can't get candy roaster in your area, one of the two of those will work just fine. But anyway, it's going to have candy roaster. It's going to have some pecans in it. We're going to have some dried cranberries, some pumpkin pie spice. Oh my good golly, it ain't going to be hardly fit to eat, but I promise you, we'll keep going till we find us a good spot, won't we? That's right. We're going to start by cutting our bacon into 1-inch pieces. We'll put it in the fry pan and go ahead and get it started. After cleaning the cutting board, we're going to cut up this onion and apple. Bear in mind, if you cut the pieces too small, it'll just disappear into the dish, so cut them a little on the chunky side. Bacon's coming along just fine. We're going to do the same with the apple. Nice chunky bits. That way it won't disappear into the dish. Now I wound up using about half of this candy roaster. Here's what it looks like on the inside. Scrape it clean and you can save and roast the seeds. Oh, look at that bacon, coming along just fine. Remarkably, these things peel a heck of a lot easier than a butternut. They peel quite easily, actually. One thing to bear in mind when cutting this up into chunks, you want them to be nice bite-sized chunks, but do your best to make sure they are uniform in size. That way they'll cook properly. Looks like the bacon's done. We'll go ahead and get it out of the grease there. We're going to put in our apple and onion chunks. Now I know that probably looks like a lot of bacon grease, and it is. But once they're finished cooking, we're going to drain off a good bit of that. That's about what they should look like. Pour some of that out, and in goes the candy roaster. Now you're going to want to move this to a medium-low heat, and it's going to take a little while to cook, I'm going to be honest with you. And should you start to feel it stick to the bottom, just add a little bit more of that bacon grease. Now let's add back in our onions and apples, a cup of dried cranberries, and about a half a cup of pecans. Then about a tablespoon of that spice blend. You can use pumpkin pie or apple pie. They got about the same flavor profile. Add a touch of salt, maybe a teaspoon, and then it's time to put back in the bacon. We'll stir it around, let it simmer for a little while longer. And then I want you to look. Isn't that a thing of beauty? And now a word from our sponsor. Say, that reminds me, if y'all are looking for a way to support this channel, keep this here trainer rolling full of farm fresh content twice a week, why don't you slide over to my Teespring shop, get yourself a coffee mug or maybe even a t-shirt. But if you don't want to do that, how about you go to buymeacoffee.com, and for the price of a cup of coffee, you help keep this train a-rolling. You can also visit boondockerswelcome.com. All of the links are in the description. Thanks a bunch. There it is, y'all. It is done. D-U-N, done. I want you to look at that little bit of autumn loveliness. I guess the only thing we got left to do is taste it. So let's see if we can get a little bit of fall on the fork here. See if we can get a little bit of everything in there. Johnny, rosin up your bow and play that fiddle hard. My good gracious. Y'all, that right there is fall in the bowl, and it's hardly fit to eat. But I'm gonna keep going till I find me a good spot. Know what I'm saying? Anyway, make that on your next camping trip, because it's getting a little too cold to go camping. So you better get after it now while the leaves are changing colors. Make that on your next camping trip. I promise you, you won't go wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, until next time, y'all going out there and be nice to one another. I sure love y'all. God bless. Bye-bye.